front of the entire class. Sweetie, you have no rhythm.
It was just fun to be like, oh, this interview.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this person's giving nothing.
Gonna be like, sit down, woman. You know, like, it would just be so weird.
All right.
Okay. Focusing. I haven't been sad lately, which is good, I guess.
White lies are blank.
The first thing that came to mind is necessary.
I agree.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
I completely agree.
Well, and I'm a horrible liar, so I think the white lie is more just to like not hurt people's feelings.
Yeah, or like people don't always need so much information.
They
Like,
don't need to know everything.
That's what I mean. So I feel like a white lie being like, you know, just not available, even if you're like sitting at home by yourself.
Yes.
That's a white lie for me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I did one today. Well, no, it's true. It is, but it was true. I did have other plans, but like this guy was like, "Hey, are you still going to this event?" And I was like, "I have other plans."
But that is true.
That's it, you know.
That wasn't even a lie.
It was
Yeah,
true,
it
but
was.
like, but I could have been intending to go, and then if he, you know, but if he had like acknowledged that he was going, it's like too soon, so I just would have made other plans.
Okay. Yes.
How about when people, or when you don't tell the full truth? Is that on the same playing field as a white lie?
But it depends. I think it depends the context.
Say more.
Like, if I'm asked, like, I don't know, like, for example, like, you're in a relationship with someone, like, someone cheats, or, like, I don't know, they do something that would go, past the other partner's boundaries. I feel like white lies are not necessary. Like, I think you should be always honest when it comes to other people's boundaries, and like respect and consideration of the other. Yeah, so like if someone asks you, like, I don't know, like, have you seen, like, are you seeing someone, or like, have you are you on dating apps and I should know, like, is there something I should know, right? White lies are not necessary in that context.
Because they should know. You know.
They should know.
Yeah, but then I feel like for your own boundary to like withhold your boundaries, then you could use a white lie. So like if you needed a mental health day and you don't want to tell your friends maybe,
Absolutely.
and you're just like, oh no, I'm busy, sorry.
No, yeah. Like when I need alone time, I'm always like, I can't love you.
Yeah.
But if it's for some, I don't know, it just depends the situation and the context of.
Well, yeah, because like sometimes people, like, let's say there's something that's going on in your life, and it's like with your family or stuff, and like people can tell there's something going on. They don't need to know.
Yeah, you're just not
You
ready.
know, you can tell them like, oh, there's something going on, but you don't need to tell them the whole.
Yeah.
People don't need all the details. I think that's my thing. Come up as very defensive.
Amanda, do you have any thoughts?
No, I feel like they said it. I think, like, personally, I'm also, like, not a good liar, so I don't really ever lie. Even, like, white lies, I'm just, like, I can't. But I think, like, time and place type of thing. Like, if it's to protect someone's feelings and stuff, I think it's okay. But, like, how she was saying, like, if it's, like, with, like, something other people should know, then, like, I don't think it's okay to, like, lie about it at all.
When you know, you have that like feeling when you're like withholding information that you probably should share.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we usually have.
Yeah, and I feel like it always comes out at some point, and then you kind of screw yourself over.
Well, if the white lie means that you're going to be living a lie, it's probably problematic. If the white lie means that you're like protecting and preserving something, then maybe it's okay. So like, you don't want to talk behind someone's back, or there's information that you know that other people are not privy to.
Yeah.
Kayla's not sure.
Yes, I think it's really just context dependent. A lie by omission to me is not a white lie. They're very different.
Can you just repeat that phrase?
a lie by omission. So like when you're deciding to not tell the rest of the story, to me that's not a white lie because you're not covering it or changing it.
Yeah.
You're just
choosing to keep it.
not to say one is better than the other. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just think they're very different.
I agree.
I do think lies by omission are pretty, like, for me, it's very equal to a lie.
Well,
I'm
like
trying
it
to
was
say-
a conscious decision to not tell you something.
Mhm.
But I think only if someone's asking that of you and then you don't follow through with the truth.
Mhm.
I think there's so many contexts, like if they don't need to know the whole story, like what you were saying, like that's a lie by omission, but it's still like in a protective way to
Yeah.
yourself. Not in like the cheating example, like
Yeah, cheating.
that one is.
This is where it all breaks down.
We need something less like black and white.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, next question. What emotion feels hardest for you to hold?
I think for me, like, it's hard for me to, like, feel and express, like, sadness. Like, in a sense, I can feel it inside, but outwardly I don't show it. Like, I don't like to cry. I barely cry in front of people, and if I do, that means, like, it's really bad. So, yeah, like, feeling my sadness and expressing it and, like, letting myself feel that emotion it's, like, really hard for me to do.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Amanda, has your partner brought it out of you a little bit more, or like encouraged you to
Yes, which is a good thing. I haven't been sad lately, which is good, I guess. But yeah, they're very like supportive and like want me to like express my emotions, whether it be something like to do with them or like anything in general. They give me a very like open space to like talk about things, which is good. I think it's just me, like growing up, I've never really shown like my sadness or anything. Like I refuse to cry in front of my family or anything. So I think it's just something that I kind of just grew up with, and like I don't cry at like sad movies or anything either, which like my mom would always be like, oh, like you don't like have emotions because you don't cry over stuff, but it's just because I would always hold it in because I don't want people to see me cry. So I think it's just like how like I was always like that, so it's hard to like bring it out.
It's funny because usually those behaviors come from parents, but it sounds like your mom was almost encouraging you to like.
Yeah, because my mom cries
like,
at
cry.
every sad thing. Like even when we were watching, like I don't even know, like when we would watch Ellen back in the day, like something happens and she's crying and I'm just sitting there like, just sitting there, and she'd be like, you know, like you can cry, like why aren't you crying? And I'd be like, I don't know. So yeah.
Do you have an idea of like where that blockage might come from? Was it from your like your dad maybe or other?
I've never seen my dad cry. So maybe it has to do with that, or also because I feel like when I was younger I would never cry. I kind of like had to uphold that and be like, yeah, like I don't show my emotions, or like I think I would associate crying with like weakness, which I know isn't true, but I think that's where my brain goes to, so then like I stop myself from expressing that.
Is it something that you told yourself at a young age?
I think so, and I think like it's hard to rewire my brain to not think that.
A lot of little boys are like, boys don't cry. So like, and I remember saying that to myself. I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I remember like I moved around a lot as a kid, and one of the years, like I think it was after like 4th grade, I like said goodbye, and I was like, I said goodbye and I didn't cry, Mom, this time. And I was like, I think back on it, I was like, that's such a terrible thing to say. All your friends were like 5 years, and you know, obviously they came and they went, but just to be like, I felt nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
To hear it out now.
That's insane.
Well, did your mom high five you, or like what was the reaction?
I think she was just like, I'm proud of you, son. It was like probably an awkward moment for a mom to hear it. Yeah, she's like, good, you're growing up, or something like that, which is also reinforces that lack of feeling. But I feel like now I'm like, sometimes if I'm sad, like I need to cry, you know, like walking around when you're like super sad, like you need to just have a cry, and then you're like, I cried, good. Let's go. Which is still borderline compartmentalizing, but still, I think it's better now that I'm like, I'm sure I do need to make this happen at some point.
It's so funny, like my relationship with crying is like for me it's such a release that like I almost like it.
All right, Mr. Happy Tears.
That's so good.
But for me it was just like watching like movies at the theater and just like I used to love rom-coms because they would just like, you know, play on your like heartstrings and like make you emo, and I just loved like just crying in the theater, just like feeling like getting lost in like a drama or like a story, and just that. Yeah. But you do hear a lot like boys don't cry, and
I mean it's like just whispered in the ear.
Yeah.
I think failure is hard, but that's not an emotion.
Disappointment. It could be. Like you feel like a failure.
But
I think
it's like failure with like a smidge of like guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Or shame.
I'm not good enough. Shame sucks. Yeah,
Right.
it sucks.
All right,
Yeah.
next question.
Nothing more to say about that.
Where does your sense of humor come from?
I think I have the most dark humor ever, and I think that might come from when we were talking about like not being able to express sadness. So what I do to express that instead of crying is I like twist it and like play with dark humor, which is not everyone's cup of tea. Like sometimes I'll say stuff and like I'll say something that people won't know, like, oh, is she being serious or is like this supposed to be a joke type of thing. 99% of the time I'm joking, but like I think that's like where my humor comes from.
Give us an example of your dark humor.
Like when I say like I want to die, like sometimes I'll say that, but like I don't obviously mean like I want to die. Or like when people say like, or when people say
when you think about something in my head. Yeah.
No, or when people say like maybe like a trigger warning, like I'm gonna kill myself. Like you know, like when people say that as like dark humor joke.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll say that, but then I'm also like that's kind of screwed up because I have had like a past of like suicide and depression and stuff. So then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't say that as a joke to people. But that's just how my brain works.
Yeah, I say a lot, I'm gonna gun myself. So that's why I laugh. I don't know where it comes from.
We are a happy lot.
It's so dark. I don't know. I'm like, this happens, I'm gonna gun myself. Like it's
I've
so
never
weird.
heard that before.
But I say it in French.
Okay,
I feel
maybe
like it's a
no.
bit
Oh,
more.
I was gonna say it sounds
I mean, the
Quebec.
phrasing was definitely.
Yeah, I was like, I've never heard it.
Say it again.
Je vais me gunner.
So it's still Frankish.
Well, see, okay, so like I was saying in the other episode, I hate dark humor because of that reason. Like, you don't really know how real it is. Like, it feels like a threat to me, or like a promise that like if you don't flag, then it's like, oh shit, like something can happen. So like also, my sister works at like a kid's help phone, at like a crisis line, and like you gave a way you would do it, and that's even more scary.
Yeah.
Like you it's a plan. Like you've planned it out. So like that's a flag. Flags are going off everywhere in my head. So like to me it's not funny. But
Yeah, I try to not do it as much, but I think it just like is like a part of me at this point. So like the people close to me, I mean I don't actually know what they think because I've never asked them, but I feel like hopefully they know that like I'm joking because no one's ever approached me and be like, hey, are you okay? So hopefully they know that I'm okay.
okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
That was my fault.
If I ever say it, I'm okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
You
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's just I don't know where it comes from. I have no clue. It's just
Yeah. It's just
it's
what we
just
say.
that. Yeah.
It's just what we
I-
say is what.
Well, I was thinking about this, and like humor obviously is a very personal thing, but I think it's always based on like something about the way that you see the world. And like when I was a little kid, at the very start, like I wasn't very social. I just kind of like sit and watch because I really liked rules and structure, and other kids were crazy and messy and rude. So I was always like very observant, but that also is like my sense of humor. Like I'm always like, did you notice that? You know, and then we like laugh about it. So like I'm kind of like always like looking for the BS. Can we swear?
Yeah.
Okay. The bullshit. I'm like, did you see that bullshit that happened? That hypocrisy? Because that's like just the way that I look looked at the world before I started speaking, like, profusely with other people. And then, like, I think in 4th grade, I, like, opened my mouth and my friends were like, you're funny. I was like, whoa, sorry. Just been here sitting waiting on the world to change or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I also think that humor comes from your friend group, meaning, like, every person has a different type of humor, and I feel very influenced by their humor. Like, for example, like, I could find something very funny and, like, we could laugh about it with, like, my best friend, but with someone else. Like, it just varies. And maybe it's just me that, like, adapts to other people. Maybe it's that, but yeah, I think my humor comes from, like, with who I share my time with.
And your family,
and
right?
my family.
Like how you grow up. Like if
Yeah.
your family is like,
yeah.
like you sit down and you have like long dinners and conversation. Like as a little kid, you pick up those things.
Yeah, my family was all about who can get like the best zinger like at the dinner table. And, like everyone like one-ups each other until like it just fades, you know.
But like roasting?
Not roasting, but just like more just like commentaries on things.
Oh, okay.
And then like who can make it funnier and like add a little ad lib and yeah. And I feel like I do that in my life, you know.
I made a joke at a funeral once and that was pretty funny.
Can we hear it?
A great aunt had passed away. We were at the funeral. It was a very sad situation. It was one of my I think it was my first funeral. And so we're there. It's like the winter. We're outside. It's kind of drizzling. It's a very like rough day, you know. And I'm like this little kid. I'm standing next to my mom. The mortician who's there, or the guy who like runs the funeral home. He's a mortician, I guess. Just goes to the beautiful flowers that we bought and just starts ripping stuff off, like ripping the flowers off. And then he's like, "Yeah, here you go. Just do that." And I was like, "That's so weird. Like, why would you do that? That's crazy." Then after we do that, he's like, "And I just wanted to say that if there's anything we can do at Franklin's funeral home, we're always here if you need us." And I turned to my mom and I was like, "Why would I ever call him unless someone died to do this again?" And my mom's like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up." And we were both like sniggering in the corner. And I was like, I don't know, it just felt like the moment needed some levity.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought.
I know.
No, it was observational comedy, not dark comedy. Zinger.
I probably won't keep this in the episode, what I'm about to say, but my sister used to work for a graveyard. Like she would be responsible for like
moving the bodies? Sorry.
No, but like cleaning, like mowing the lawns and keeping it, you know, cute. There was like a little crane that kind of like lifts the caskets and then like lowers them like, you know, into the hole. She witnessed like the crane just like dropped the box.
That's why that's why they have you walk away. Have you ever noticed they start putting the stuff and they're like, "You can go now."
I thought they like slowly lowered it.
No, sometimes they do it and it's fancy like that, and other times they're like, "You can now leave." And then they lower it hopefully nicely, but then after the first couple things of dirt, they just plop it on there.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty certain that they were actually fined because someone recorded it once.
Oh my god.
Like they caught them doing it again.
It's like, how many people are gonna come back and dig up the coffin? And they're like, "Wait, this is damaged." Like,
I don't think that's the point.
That's why they're able to do this.
I don't think anyone's advocating for this method.
No, we're not. I'm not. I'm saying like I feel like that's why they have you walk away in case something goes wrong.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Is there a part of your personality that you feel you need to explain to people?
So, I think it's a good thing, but like I can't lie, like you said. Twins. I can't lie, but then that means I'm like really, really honest. And like, I wouldn't say I'm brutally honest, but you'll definitely get like my honest opinion if you ask it. So I think everyone that first meets me needs a bit of like a trigger warning, you know? Like if you ask me, I'm not gonna like give you a fluffy answer. I'm
No
gonna really tell
sugarcoating.
you. It's like if you ask me about your significant other, just be careful.
Oh.
Because I might actually
You're like,
tell
no,
you the
they're
truth.
terrible.
That's where like the white lie I should try to work on that maybe, but I'm really bad at it. Like there's no second thought in my brain. Like I just immediately like no filter tell you how I feel. So
That's
like
great.
yeah.
That's also a dumb question. Like you get what you get when you do that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
No.
That also tells me about you that you're like you seem very sure of yourself.
I am, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you don't need to lie, or like you don't need to hide yourself, adapt yourself to others.
Yeah.
You're just there, and you're like it's not my problem. You have a problem with me. That ain't my responsibility.
Yeah.
But also that you like know to let people know at some point.
Yeah.
Like that's like an added step of, oh, like she's very thoughtful of like her approach to friendship or
Yeah.
relationships.
I guess I kind of turn it more in like a humorous way.
Mhm.
Just like be careful, because like I do break up couples, like not in that way, not in that way, but like break heart.
Jezebel.
But just in the sense that like if I plant the seed, just know that it might sprout some seeds of doubt, and I'm not sorry.
Have you been asked that by a friend before?
Like about their significant other, definitely.
And how did it go?
It's usually not great. It's usually not great, but then, you know, like 6 months later when they break up, and it's like, you know,
You're
like,
right.
yeah. Just a little, like, ego boost.
Yeah.
I mean, of course I feel for my friends. It's just like, I saw this coming. So, yeah. I don't know. That's my trigger warning anyways.
That's a good thing to warn people about. I mean...
Yeah, just so you guys all know also.
I know now. I'm very appreciative. I'm like, I need an honest opinion. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, yes.
Right?
Like, yeah. Analyze the situation.
Yeah.
Type of.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
I will.
I think for me would be I think I'm a very loud person when I'm happy or like in general. And no, absolutely not.
What's funny is that in this setting you're a little more quiet.
Yeah, no, but I think it's because I come from an Italian family, and like with my family, like we speak super loud. The dinners are super loud. We talk over ourselves, and I just love this type of communicating, and like also like expressing happiness to this extent. I think it's a great thing to have and a great quality. And but people sometimes are a bit like, whoa, like, oh shit. I think I'm a bit loud.
Someone said in the last episode, I think it was Soul, a response when someone says that you're too much, your response to them is, well, go look for a little less.
I agree.
I had that response. Like, yeah, I have it in my mind. Like, if I'm too much to you, like, that ain't my problem.
Yeah.
Go elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay myself.
Who or what brings out the best in you?
I feel like I talk about my girlfriend on here all the time, but I guess we'll just bring her up. I think...
What's her name? Or their name?
Naomi.
Hey.
I think because this is like my first like lesbian relationship, as we spoke about before, I think I'm just like 100% finally like completely myself, so it's easy to be myself. What am I trying to say? That's how like the best... What was the question?
Well, they bring out the best in you.
Yeah, so I guess like I feel very like confident with them and like secure that like I'm not scared to be who I am.
Yeah.
Were you? It was like was your attachment style before like insecure or?
Yes, it's very like anxious attachment, and now I feel like it's more like, I mean, it's obviously still there a little bit, but I feel like it's much better now.
Well, they say that like a secure person can like help bring that down, and then even like change a person's attachment style because they feel secure.
Yeah,
Just
that makes sense.
the dream.
In therapy last week, my therapist was like, wow, this behavior that you've exhibited and like what you're telling me about this experience, she's like, this is secure attachment. I was like, I love this for me. Like, let's remember this. But the next day, the anxious came back, and I sent quite a few text messages to my partner, and she's like, that will happen. Anyway,
see, that's what we should warn people about. Like, if you're like
secure attachment.
Well, because like sometimes it's hard to be vulnerable like that. You know, you should be like, if you really like me, you should probably text me once a day.
Well, that's what I did at the beginning of our relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of was like, you know, like, this is what I need. Like, I'm a person who needs a lot of reassurance, which I don't know what that says about me, but I need that. And I said that at the beginning, and like, she's given me that. But I think it's because I like brought it up, and I think that's something that I always had trouble with, even in friendships. Like, I have trouble saying like what I need. So I think that's a good thing to do that.
Like, even when I first moved to Montreal like 2 years ago, but when I first moved here, I you know, every time you go out, you don't know anyone. So you're like kind of like waiting for that one person to kind of smile at you, or you have a similar sense of humor, and then all of a sudden you can open up and you're like the full version of yourself, but you have to feel seen and understood.
Well, yeah, it's like the person you're with is exhibiting behaviors, like, and if it's secure, it inspires you to be more secure in your communication, or they make you feel safe enough to be like, hey, I'm a little anxious about this, or like, can you like be more quick with the texts? It takes the right person to just know how to navigate that with you. Yeah. Have you ever successfully pranked someone or been the victim of a prank?
In a good way?
It could be fun, it could be silly, or it could be, I'm pregnant.
Oh my god.
That is a terrible prank. I hate when people do that for April Fools. Like, especially because...
To fake a pregnancy?
Yeah, people do that.
That's
and
insane.
I'm just, like, it's so insensitive because some people, like, actually, like, deal with, like, infertility and things like that, and, like, seeing that...
Or loss?
Yeah.
I guess that is infertility, isn't it?
No, infertility is, like, when you can't get pregnant, I think.
Yeah.
So,
and
I mean, like, that too.
And stuff. Yeah,
which
it's just,
even
like,
worse.
they see that and, like, they feel emotions, and then for you to be like, just kidding, when, like, they probably struggle with that, like, on a daily.
That happened to me, but not with pregnancy. But with cancer.
No!
That I was younger, I was in elementary school. She was my best friend at the time, she's not anymore. But my best friend from like not even kindergarten, like before that. And we were, I don't know, like 10, 11, like 12-ish. And I get that text of a huge ass paragraph of like her saying that like she got cancer and that she's going to the hospital and like a whole ass thing. And I got like, I was like so sad. I was like bawling my eyes out. I was telling my mom. My mom was bawling her eyes out. And then like I reply, I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna do like everything in our power to like make you feel comfortable and safe, and you know, like it's gonna be fine. Like it's a tough period, but you're gonna go through it. And then she says like, oh no, it's a prank.
Ew.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
Even today, I'm like,
I'm so sorry.
It's heavy. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Bad friend.
Was it even April Fool's?
It was not April Fool's.
Oh my god.
I remember it was like
attention.
it was March. It just random ass stick.
This is why I don't like pranks. I don't like them.
I hate them.
They make me so angry.
I'm also too gullible. Like, I feel like when people tell me something, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I don't have that sense of humor where someone can like white lie in a jokey way. And
yeah, I don't.
And I'll just answer the question or be like, "Oh, is that true?" And then they're like, "No, it's a joke." And
I
I'm
like the sarcasm.
I don't think that's sarcasm.
No.
I honestly feel like
that, no.
humor is funnier. Well, no, not that. No, I think humor is funnier. Like, okay, this is probably like a moving around thing problem. But growing up, we used to make fun of ourselves. It's almost like a British thing where you take the mickey out of yourself.
Yeah.
So you make fun of yourself. That's how you be sarcastic.
Yeah.
Whereas like in North America, sometimes people make fun of you to your face, and then you're supposed to laugh about it. And I'm like, I don't think that's funny.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I get angry. Sorry. But I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
Jesus.
No, it took me a while to heal from this.
Yeah.
Like even like her trust.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't have my trust anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
This is like Scamanda.
yeah, it was.
It's like the writer from Grey's Anatomy. Did you ever see that documentary?
Yeah,
No.
she lied.
But there was a writer?
But the main writer
The writer.
had a girlfriend and like stole her life. Like for the show.
No.
But she would like check herself into like medical facilities and like say she had cancer, these storylines that she would find in these facilities would make their way onto the show.
Oh yeah, that too.
Totally get
This
it.
is not a white
But I
lie.
think it's like
It's a white lie. It is
I
not.
think it's like in those situations, like even in that ex-friend, it's like maybe it's a form of like insecurity within themselves. Like they don't feel either seen, they don't feel like, I don't know, heard, understood, or they have a terrible sense of insecurity, so that like they need to have that all of this attention from others.
Damn. Does anyone have like a funny prank?
Sorry.
I remember my grandpa would put like saran wrap over the toilet and close the seat, so when you peed into it, it would like bounce off. Things like that, like just stupid.
Messy.
I was on the phone with my parents like a month ago, and they did a prank where they took out fart spray and then like blamed it on one of my siblings. Like they just sprayed it in the house, and then convinced my grandparents that it was my little brother that had just
Their son.
You can buy
Basically.
fart spray.
That's insane.
Wow.
So funny.
Share an experience from your most recent memory where you made a bold move for romance.
It just
Why are
sounds
you
funny.
giggling over
It
there?
just sounds funny. I did it.
Bold move.
Bold move. I have this one ex that we were together for like 3.5 years, and we broke up 3 years ago. And like on a random day, I was just like, oh, I wonder how he's doing. And
All good stories start with that.
Yes.
I wonder how my ex is doing.
No, it's just I mean, I will always send him flowers. Like it was a very beautiful and healthy relationship. And I was just like, oh, I wonder like how he's doing right now. And I saw that on his Instagram he graduated from university. I was like, oh shit, like you graduated. Like you, first of all, you look very freaking handsome. Like wow. And then you graduated. That means like time has passed. So many emotions. Like I had like a huge wave of emotions, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna write. I'm gonna text him saying like how proud I feel of him, and like, and if ever he wants to grab a coffee sometime, so like to just catch up or something, I would very much love that. But if not, like, that's fine. And yeah, we ended up having like 2 coffees, and it was a very nice very nice conversations. Yeah, so like now I'm in a waiting situation to see if he comes back to me or not. But yeah, that was a very bold and beautiful move, I think, for romance.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you won't have like that what if
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
of questions.
And I think it's like, if it's not now, maybe it's gonna be later, maybe not. But also that tells me that like I'm available to some great love again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any other bold moves for romance?
I once dated this guy, and then he's like, let's go on another date. I was like, we need to have a conversation where I kind of say that like I want to be in a relationship. I told you this the last time, and I'm fine to hang out, but I'm going to see some other people because I'm still trying to do that. And then he was like, actually, no, don't do that.
Oh.
And then that's how we actually dated. You know, like,
Okay.
because he's like, I don't want you to see any other people.
Yeah.
I just want you. And I was like, oh. So that was like a huge thing for me, because like asking for what you want, and even if it's not from them, and being okay to walk away,
Yeah.
super fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. We broke up anyway. But it was bold. It was bold.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, it's so dramatic. I was friends with this girl in high school. For most of our friendship, I was just there for her and her many like, you know, relationships that would come and go, and the sagas of all of them, and I was the, you know, the active listener and the ear to all the drama. And I definitely developed like a love for her. You know, it started with friendship, but I was like, I love her, and I was like, I'm ready to like pursue something. We were studying one day after school, doing homework, whatever, and she asked me to go home because some guy was coming over that she was seeing. And I left. I started walking home. I was about 20 minutes away, and it started pouring rain, and I was listening to She Will Be Loved by Maroon 5.
Oh my god.
And I was like, I'm running back, like, telling her that I love her.
Did you?
And then
So I ran back to her house.
Oh my God.
This is
She
amazing.
opens the
This is
door.
amazing.
She opens the door,
No.
and then the guy comes,
no.
and I'm just crying in the rain.
Oh my god.
This is amazing.
But what was kind of bold was obviously like showing up to her doorstep, pouring rain, but like I could see in her face that she knew exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know?
Was it hope?
It was a face of like, I know what you want to say, I know what you're feeling, and I also can't give that to you.
Oh.
So you never ended up telling her?
Well, she did eventually know, but it never went anywhere.
Yeah.
It was just
Oh.
like,
It's pretty bold though to show up to the doorstep.
Yeah. You gotta build those bold muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really a heart stopper moment.
Yeah.
I mean,
It really does
I'm
feel
gonna
like
Grey's
it.
Anatomy that shit and write in a script. Thank
But
you.
I'm telling you, I was all about rom-coms, so like I was just like, this is just what you do.
It's true though.
I have a soundtrack playing already. Like,
I would
Relax.
love someone to show up to my doorstep that way. Oh,
Let me
may
move
this
on.
love find me.
But only if you know that you're gonna feel it. That
Yes,
same
yes,
way.
yes.
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
else
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
It's
terrifying.
thin, there's a
Oh,
thin
yeah.
line
True.
between rom-com and stalker.
Mhm.
Unfortunately.
what is a talent that you were born with?
I think talents come with work,
Hmm?
in my opinion.
Say
Because
more.
like you know, I'm a dancer, and yes, I've been dancing like probably my whole life, but I also worked a lot for it, and like to get where I'm at, and I don't think it was just an easy thing. And
Artistically, it's like everyone's talented, but
Yes.
the most talented people sometimes don't have the work ethic to strengthen their
Mhm.
talent. But I do think that people still have natural proclivities
Mm-hmm.
to certain things.
Well, Marianne, for you, I would argue that your natural talent is rhythm and movement, and someone recognized that in you, and then you and a parental figure maybe like decided that you would nurture that talent, and that's where like that practice and that work ethic comes in, and you really develop that talent, and you're amazing at what you do. But that natural ability, I don't know if everyone has rhythm.
I think you're bored with that. Yeah, because the people who don't, you can't teach them otherwise.
Well,
But I
think
also
rhythm
think
can
that
be
everything
picked
can be
up.
everything can be
Not like I don't think they're gonna.
Everything?
But a lot of things. Like what I mean is like people can do a lot of things if they just put their mind to it.
Yeah. Not gonna go on Dancing with the Stars or
Right,
start
but are they
singing-
going to be talented? Like, to me,
Yeah.
like, the technical skills of being a, like, dancer, even the people who put in, like, 80 hours might not compare to the people who just, like, move you emotionally. I think there's a difference between, like, technical skills and then soft skills.
There's a fine line, yeah.
Like, you have it or you don't. The it factor.
Yeah.
Like, I really do think that there's a difference.
It's like everyone can sing. Everyone can sing, but
Yes.
not everyone should.
Like me.
But
Yeah.
I also believe that a lot of people can become very technically proficient, but they just have no soul. You know,
Yeah.
like, and it's.
Amanda, what do you think?
Oh, I don't have any talents that I can think of. So
Oh, come on.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Come on.
I don't know. I
I
think
mean,
that's
you have
hard.
an inspirational podcast about badass
Yeah.
women.
Yeah,
I guess-
lifting people up. Not physically, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not very strong. Yeah, I don't know. I think like for me, like thinking of talents, I always think of it as like singing, dancing, and things like that. So because I'm not good at those things, I think I'm not talented, but I'm sure there is something that I'm good at. But I feel like I haven't like figured that out
Like, who gave you permission to start podcasting?
myself.
That's a talent.
Yeah.
A lot of people sitting here are doing nothing.
Thanks.
Let me ask, was there anything that someone pointed out that you were good at growing up? Maybe a teacher, a parent, who was like, oh, Amanda's really good at this.
I think maybe like with like cameras and stuff, because that's where it first started with like, I was like 6 or 7 and I would take my dad's like old camera and I would like film me and my brother and I would like try and edit it. It was really bad at first, but I think like, I guess my dad like saw that, and then like I got my first computer and I started like watching YouTube and then creating my own videos and stuff, so I guess that started something. But then it's hard for me to be like, oh, like being a content creator is like a talent, because people don't generally see it as a talent. Or maybe I just don't.
There's just it's because it's so saturated and there's so much crap.
Yeah.
But like good content. What?
But
No, but it's true. But like,
I agree.
But like
Yeah.
good content
Shit's
is
done.
good content. Like learning to have that type of touch, I think it's so hard. It's so good when you can do it.
Never thought of it that way, but love that.
What is something you wish people would ask about you, but rarely do?
about my research with dance and my craft and art, what nourishes me as an artist. But I think it's because people don't know what to ask when I say I'm a dancer. Like, oh, like, yeah, are you on projects? Like, what type of dance are you doing? But sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I could say what nourishes me. Yeah.
Well, you have the floor. I want to know.
What nourishes you?
What nourishes you as
What
an artist?
nourishes me as an artist? I have this thing that I'm always like on the search of freedom, and that's not just with my evolving practice with dance, but also with like my personal outlook on life of what freedom means to me. I'm still like looking and seeking like what freedom means to me through movement. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. The simplicity of something is so interesting to me. Like, I think they don't know what it's like when we go into rehearsal, and like what it's like to build our own practice and nourish our own self as an artist. I don't think people know that. And I think also like the dance world gatekeep shit ton of things, so that's on us. But I don't think it's a thing of like I don't feel seen. It's just a thing of I think people don't know what to ask when I say I'm a dancer.
It's true that dance is such like a visual medium that you're like, okay, the output is that. And so it's like, oh, great song, you know, great moves, great choreo, but it's never, you know, it's artistry. There's a process. There's real intention and thought, and yeah.
Dance is like such an internal thing. Like, when I was in professional dance school, like for 3 years, they were like, not that they were not breaking you, but like they were asking so many things about your own identity, your own self. Because if you don't know yourself, like how can you know yourself as an artist as well? But that brings like a lot of like identity crisis. Like it's huge. But yeah, it's not just about the final product, right? And as a dancer, like what I really enjoy is like working towards the final product.
In terms of like people not knowing really what to ask, like I've taken dance classes and I liked it, but I'm a lot in my head. Like I'm not very like logical and like rigid, I guess. So like letting it move you and like connecting your body with your emotion is like there's like a disconnect there for me. So like it's just very somatic as an experience, and like it's a different world for me. So like even if when you talk about it and stuff, like obviously there's a disconnect there, because when you're talking about the freedom and the choosing through the rehearsals and stuff, I'm like, well, what does that mean? You know, like as a dancer, like obviously it comes really inherently to you.
I took some Martha Graham dance
Oh, you
classes
did?
for acting.
Oh,
but we had to
still.
do Martha Graham.
Nice.
And so it's like, as a very well trained dancer, it was still really interesting to sort of see that like how much just that style in particular, well, I'm sure it's true for every style, is so influenced by like the time periods that it came about. So it's almost like you can't learn Martha Graham without learning like like one of her dancers' brother was like a famous Japanese artist, and so like you can't learn Martha Graham without learning like the art that was actually created for each dance, and the, you know, and then also how she worked with actors and all this other stuff. So it's like, it's not just, you know, I could see someone meeting you and being like, oh cool, where can I see you perform? And like that's all they ask, not like, you know, like, why do you like to dance?
Yeah,
and
like where do I come from with that?
And like also like where are you in that world? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure.
Does anyone else have anything?
I don't even remember the question.
What's something you wish people would ask about you but rarely do?
Well, this doesn't happen in Canada as much, but definitely when I was living in the United States, you just kind of get erased as to like where your family's from and like what your ethnicity is. So I constantly was like, I'm not just like a black person wandering this world with like no past. Like I have a whole bunch of cultures that had to come together in order for me to exist. So like I would always feel very uncomfortable when I felt like people didn't understand that about me. But I feel like in Canada it's better. So
You would want people to be like, where's
you
your
really
background?
from?
Like, what's your background?
I don't get offended by that.
No, but like, is that what you're saying? Like, that's
Yeah,
what you're-
yeah.
I kind of feel that too, because when people look at me, they'll be like, oh, she's Asian. But like, I'm like Chinese, Filipino, Spanish, Italian, and French. So I feel like I have so many things.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
That like people don't really ask; they'll just kind of assume. So yeah, I relate to that.
That's what I mean. Like
That's
I
what
like
I was
when
saying,
people say that, because like then you can actually just be what you are
Yeah.
and not like what the I hate boxes. What the box it
Puts you
seems
in,
like
yeah.
puts you in.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
get that.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're Italian. Like, wouldn't people be like, are you Italian? Or are you
No
like,
one
"Ah."
asks me like, if I'm Italian. I always tell them like I'm half Italian.
Well, that's what I feel like I do now. Like, I'm like, no, I'm like from Barbados, and I'll talk about. I'll just drop it in conversation.
I drop it as well.
Right? Because you're like, just don't look at me like I'm just another person. But not that other people aren't people. It's just like, I don't know. It's like, but also like, I feel like everyone is something, and it's really nice to see them as that, and not just like some stereotype of like what they appear to look like. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so you have a Tears wild card. Who was your first boss?
Aww.
My God, I don't
My
even
aunt.
remember.
Aw.
She let me work at her New Year's Eve party. She had this big dinner party with all her friends, and I was the waiter. And I felt so like responsible and like cool, and I was like I'd never been a waiter before or anything like that, but I like did it up. And then when everyone went to sleep, I cleaned everything and laid it out. And she woke up and she was so proud, and I was like, oh my God, I did such a good job. And she paid me even more money. Anyway, love her.
Well, my first ever job, I actually quit after like 2 days because we were supposed to get paid for training and stuff, and then once we did 2 days, he was like, yeah, I'm actually not paying you for training. And I was like, well, this is not okay, and then I quit. So that was my first boss. Don't like him, don't even remember his name. And then my second boss was at McDonald's. Just a white man. Honestly, all my bosses before I became my own boss were white men, which is really fun. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of, especially being like an Asian woman. There's a lot of ways that you're treated with like older white men. They like either like don't take you as seriously or like don't really care for what you have to say. So that's my experiences with all my bosses. Yeah.
That sounds really annoying.
It is. That's why I was like, screw that. I'm just gonna work for myself, and here we
you
are.
became your own.
Yeah.
This is your talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be frustrating to be seen in the workplace.
Mm-hmm. Especially because I worked in like a
Tech company?
yeah, like a tech shop. I'm not gonna say the name because I feel like they would come after me.
Don't say the name.
But yeah, I feel like even like just working in that place, like the customers and stuff, like whenever it was men that would walk in, they would automatically go to the men because they didn't want to be served by women.
Yeah.
And I actually had a man, I went up to him and he was like, no, like I'd rather be served by a man because I think they'll understand more. And I was like, you don't even know me, like you know nothing about me, but I was like, I don't even want to serve you anyways.
Yeah.
And that was something that like, yeah, like I dealt with a
Where
lot.
does that come from? That just like when you look at someone, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't think that you
like no
could help me.
Yeah.
Even though you're sitting in the place where allegedly you're being trained to do that thing.
I wish I know.
Right? Like,
goddamn.
The audacity.
Yeah, the audacity. That's the tea. You know, also like I hate it when people just assume that like women or just like someone who's like not the person in power in that situation or is just like not as powerful.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Kayla, I want to know your first boss.
My first job was probably babysitting, so it's not all that exciting. But the lady who I babysat for gave me like a side gig. So random. I like transcribed interviews from like a study. I don't even know what they were studying, honestly. I just listened and I typed. No, there was a lot of rules that I had to follow and a lot of words to omit. Like every time they said like I had to keep it out, which is often.
Yeah. Yeah. People do that a lot. Yeah.
I got paid by the words. It's just kind of fun. Like I'm kind of nosy, so like even though I retained absolutely nothing from what I transcribed, it was just fun to be like, oh, this interview.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this person's giving nothing. I'm like, what the heck are they gonna use this for? Yeah, no, I think I was like 14 maybe. I don't really know what I learned from that job. I don't have any like profound like thing to say.
Well, you did stuff.
I did stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people go to their first job and they do nothing.
Well, even the babysitting, it wasn't for me. Like, the kids would just watch Minecraft, or no, watch other people playing Minecraft on YouTube, and then I'd be watching them watch other people play Minecraft. It was like so fun.
Well, okay, are you a gamer?
No.
See, I mean this is why we should be friends.
Right.
Because I don't want to watch other people watch, and I don't want to watch anyone's kids. So we can just go and like read the room.
Yeah, not for real though. I love observing, but
Love it.
like I have a lot of patience, so that was okay for me, and I didn't really want to entertain them also. So like I was also okay with them just watching YouTube.
Can you think of a moment where you've self-sabotaged?
I was in a very toxic situationship for like a year and a half, and that ended like last year, thank God. And it was I got love bombed basically for a very long time, and it was a very on and off thing, but it ended up like for months of just like us like hanging out at his place and just sleeping together like left and right all the fucking time, and every time we were like, we need to stop this, and it's just at some point that I think it's a self-sabotage thing, to be honest, because I knew that like I had to stop, but like it felt like an addiction at some point. It's such a weird thing, and it was so toxic, and I was very disrespected, but I was still there. Me, more like in the self-sabotage of like, I know I should not be doing this, but I keep doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you know how you would like to be treated or how you should be treated, and then you just don't demand it from the world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so, because I think before that situationship, I was a very secure, like, you know, we talked about attachment styles, and my therapist said that I had a secure attachment style, which was a good thing, right? But I think in that situationship, it kind of like altered into like an anxious attachment.
Like in your example, that loop that is toxic, it's when you have that recognition, but you decide to enter it anyways.
Yeah.
That's the point of self-sabotage.
Thank God it ended.
Amen.
Way better now.
Amen.
But I also see self-sabotage in the way that, like, intentionally or unintentionally holding yourself back from something. Like, either because you're too scared or whatever the excuse may be, just knowingly holding yourself back from something that could help you grow, or, like, job opportunities, or something that's, like, really scary to, like, step out into. The act of, like, reversing and holding yourself back a bit, that is also self-sabotage.
Because it's safe. Like, you want to stay safe, so you're afraid to put yourself out there.
Sabotaging your growth, your opportunities.
Yeah, like staying at that job that you hate and that relationship that you know is unhealthy.
Yeah.
I think we all do that.
I put a lot of pressure on myself for blank.
I guess maybe, I don't know if this makes sense, but like in terms of like work and stuff, on our first call we actually spoke about this, like being entrepreneurs and like working for yourself. You kind of need to work and need to put in all that effort, because if not, then your bills don't get paid. So I think I like put a lot of pressure on myself in that aspect. Like, I kind of forget to enjoy what I'm doing and like be like, wow, like I'm actually doing this because I'm so focused on like making the money because I have shit to pay for. Try to enjoy it at the same time, but I'm not doing that.
It's such an interesting loop too, because it's like your best work comes out of real intention around the process. So when you're saying, what you're saying is like, when I want to enjoy what I'm doing, I want to love what I'm doing, I want to bring real intention to that, that's when your best output is going to come, and that's going to lead to better opportunities or financial stability, or because your best work is coming out. I mean, it's not a guarantee. Like,
and I think as like entrepreneurs, we always like compare ourselves to other people or other businesses that are like similar to us, and I kind of like do that a lot. And instead of being like, wow, like I have this many clients, or I work with like such cool people, I'm always like, how can I be better, instead of just like acknowledging what I'm already doing.
I think it's easy to not see how much like pressure you put on yourself. Like, I had a really good therapist that was like, you don't need to be extremely successful. It's not an essential thing in life.
Yeah.
Like, you can still be very happy without being the most rich or the most famous person in the room.
Yeah, like as long as you're doing what you like and like enjoying your life, I think like that's success in itself.
Yeah. I had a voice teacher who used to say, if you're a singer and you manage to do 80%, if you can do what you can do 70 to 80% of the time, you are fantastic. Like, to have that perfect performance where nothing goes wrong, and you breathe perfectly, and you're fully connected to the words, and I don't know, you look at someone in the audience and you give them the most amazing experience in your life. That is, I don't even know what that is. You know what I mean? There are always things that are happening. But if you can do what you intend to do 80% of the time, you are so successful and so awesome, because you complete things, then you move on. We beat ourselves so much about being perfect, but you know, probably the best things happen when you just do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When did you first start questioning the way you were raised?
Well, I talked about it like in the last episode, but like about sexuality and sex, and how it was so taboo in my family. Now it shaped my relationship with sex a lot. But yeah.
Even like for me, like going to an all-girls Catholic high school was very interesting. So in terms of like growing up, I would like put it to that. Like, my parents were very like open-minded people, and they were always like, do whatever you want, like blah blah blah. They didn't really care. I mean, I know that now. When I was younger, I always thought they cared a lot about certain things. But I think going to like an all-girls Catholic high school, seeing other like people come out there, and like the way that people like viewed them or like spoke about them, kind of made me not want to like be myself. And I really struggled with like sexuality and embracing that, and I really do think it has to do with like that school setting and also like Catholic school, it kind of like, I've always struggled with like religion and sexuality because it's hard for them to like go together. That's how I viewed it growing up, because at school they would always be like, with sex ed, it would always be like male and woman, and that's it. That's all that can exist. And we would like do prayers every day. It was like really weird. And now that I think about it,
brainwashing.
Yeah, it was like a very brainwashed thing, and like it really like made me question myself and be like, oh, like, is this bad? And I think after getting out of that and looking back at it, I was like, wow, like that really fucked me up. And I think that's why I like struggled so much to like figure out my identity, and like not saying that like I knew that like I was a lesbian, but like I felt like calling myself bisexual made me feel a little bit more safer because there was still that male attachment to it, and I was like, okay, like there's still like men attraction, so like it's not that bad. Getting myself out of that mindset made me like really realize that like my high school years traumatized me. So yeah.
But I think questioning is a good thing in a way. Like, I mean, obviously like sexuality is not the easiest thing when you're from like the Caribbean and Africa, and I'm really actually glad that I was born in North America, so I had this like this weird kind of sense that I was like, okay, I know that you're like this and you're like this, but you had me here, so there's like a third identity that neither of you really understand. But over here it says it's okay. Like, because my parents were from two different cultures, like they think about even like women a little bit differently. Like I think they are, I would say that like there's a lot of matriarchy a little bit more powerfully in the Caribbean than I felt growing up in Zimbabwe. I just saw that like not everyone agrees on how to see the world, and when you see that, then you can pick and choose what you want to take into your little wheel, into your wheel box, you know? So I think it's good to question, especially when you're like, okay, so they do this and they do that. What do I like? Because clearly they're not perfect.
It's very progressive.
I'm trying to be diplomatic.
No, but like, did you feel that in that moment, or you're saying this from like looking back?
Real easy example. I'm the firstborn son of the firstborn son, but my sister's older. So I always had more respect for my older sister because she's my older sister. And like, you know, growing up in a family with like very strong Caribbean women, like we have a lot of respect for the women in our family. But if I were to go and visit my African family, like I would take precedence over her. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. She's my older sister. It feels weird, you know? Yeah. And so I was like, well, maybe I'm not down with that. But there are other things about the culture, like loving your family and enjoying life and really being kind and really like loving all types of people regardless of like their station, that I feel like my African side has more. Even that friction very early on was like, I was like, I'm not going to sign up because I think she's my older sister. I'm not going to be like, sit down, woman, you know, like, it would just be so weird, you know? So I do think that it's okay to question, especially when you know that, like, maybe you don't agree with it, you know?
I think what's interesting about that particular setting of, like, being immersed in, like, religion, especially in those formative years, it's like you almost can't see outside of like what else exists.
Yeah.
I think that's why in our modern day we talk so much about representation, because those are touch points through culture and media where like we're like, oh, I see a lived experience that I resonate with, even if I'm not living that yet.
And it doesn't always
that's
need
why
to
it's
look
important.
like you. It make it, like, especially with like sexuality, it can just be like just the idea and seeing it, you know, like I remember like thinking when I was growing up, not because, I mean, obviously there are various different types of homophobia and like it just not being a part of the culture and whatnot, but I remember thinking, oh, there's no way I could be like this and be like, you know, close to my family. So my goal is to get through college and then I can just move to like another coast and then just never go home. Like that was what I was thinking, you know, but why wasn't I thinking, oh, just fit into the culture and just give this up? But I thought that I really feel like both cultures are very, very strong, And I was like, you didn't raise me to love myself as one of you. And then because there's this like one thing about me and you don't like me, I'm just supposed to like bend over and like just, you know, like, and I'm just supposed to bend over sounds homophobic to me.
Give in.
I'm just supposed to give in and change because I was like, no, you raised me like this. I'm stubborn because of you. So fuck you, I'm going to move away. Didn't happen, but you know, luckily it didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's important too because like, my experience was similar to Amanda's. Like I also grew up in a religious setting, and like just the things that you hear, like I didn't have. I was from a small town. Like I didn't have alternative perspectives, right? So like until I moved to the city, I didn't actually like see it as an option. So it wasn't even registering. But like religion took a lot of like I don't know, like a lot of the pleasure out of it. Like sex was a no-no. It's like only to make little disciples and spread the word of God.
Disciples, yeah.
For real though.
Well,
that was the
there's
message.
so much shame. Like if you were to have like premarital sex, you are awful.
You're going to hell.
If I was like, if I ever impregnate a woman and we're not married, like my mom will never speak to me again.
Yeah, but not even that. Just like masturbating and like when you're like young and you're like everyone's like on porn and stuff. And, like no, this is a sin and like I shouldn't feel this way and like just like already shaming yourself for things that like
are natural.
Yeah.
Which makes
like,
it even harder when you actually get up to it because you're like,
yes.
I hate this so much. I don't. I do.
No, but I used to picture like all my grandparents watching me.
Oh my God.
And then I like shame myself out of it.
It's so same.
No.
Yeah, my parents as well.
Yeah.
I grew up in a religious family as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like even masturbation. Like
Yeah.
first of all, I didn't know what masturbation was at like 13 yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's a bit late. I don't know. Is it
I-
late?
No.
13?
But I believe that kids are less sexual than we think they are. Like, you know, because like I think I was more like emotionally queer first,
Mm-hmm.
and then later on there was like the sex that comes along with it. But I think it's like the things that, you know, they say careful the things you say, children will listen. Like I remember I had a family member, like we were in the car and they were like, homosexuality is the degradation of society, and that like landed on me like a brick wall.
Yeah.
And
You internalized
I
it.
really internalized it, and that's why I felt like, well, that's me.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't be here.
I always thought that too, where I would be like, oh, like, if I came out to my parents, and like, they never gave me a reason to think this, but because growing up in the place that was like, marriages between like a man and a woman, and like, seeing people come out to their religious families and like getting kicked out, I was always like, oh my god, like, I'm gonna get kicked out, so I can only like, do this once I'm older. And I think that like, delayed me in like, accepting who I am, because I would always be like, waiting till I'm older.
Yeah.
But I told them and they're fine, so.
I know, like, there's more love that exists on this earth than we think that is possible.
And once we open ourselves up to it, then
yeah. And it's that doesn't mean it's perfect. Like I think it's taken me years to feel more comfortable in front of my family, and then also years to like work with some of the relatives that like weren't as accepting in the beginning.
Yeah.
I was in New York for Pride this year, and instead of going to the parade, I had a barbecue with my family.
I love
and I was like, this is Pride!
Kayla, just to finish the story you're sharing, was it when you moved to the city, is that when you like started to see different expressions?
Like I was super repressed. Like I can't say that like I came to the city and saw gay people and I was like, oh, I want to be you when I grow up. Like I don't think I had like an aha moment until like I actually had feelings and I was like, oh shit. Like I didn't know at all. Like it was so deeply like repressed that I needed feelings. Like I needed the first like attraction to be like, oh, okay. And like I couldn't deny it at that point because I was like, oh, this is like way too in my face. Like it felt like a 18-wheeler ran me over.
Were you like on the internet when you were like in your small town?
Define on the internet, like,
'cause,
you mean, like on social media?
Yeah, because like for me, when I was like 12, I would be watching like all these like gay YouTubers and stuff, and I'd be like, oh, I want to be like them, but I can't. So that's like, okay, so you weren't even like shown that.
No, but the gay TikTok.
Oh my god, that like solidified it for me.
Yeah. For
During
sure.
COVID, just seeing like all like that, like I don't know, something happened on TikTok and like the queer people were there.
Yes, the lesbians
Yeah.
came together on the For You page.
Yeah.
And I think that's more representation than going out in
TikTok?
public.
TikTok added you to yourself?
Well, no, the feelings did, but the For You page didn't lie.
Are you a good roommate?
I think so. I think I'm good with boundaries. I'm really like relaxed and go with the flow. I'm actually moving in with one of my friends, and we recently went to a chalet, and she asked my old roommate, she was like, hey, can you give me like a reference? Give me a review of what Kayla's like as a roommate. And like he gave me a stellar review. But I mean, I don't know, I think I'm really easy to live with. Like the only thing is like, I love socializing, and I miss that aspect because I live alone right now, and I kind of just like loved having roommates come in and then just talk about your day and stuff. It just makes you feel like less alone and more connected, and you're not just like texting people to like get the lowdown on their day and stuff. So yeah, I just love the social aspect, and I can give you space, and I'm clean and respectful, and I have a cat, 2 cats. But yeah, I think I'm a good roommate.
You could give free advice on partners.
Yeah, sometimes unwarranted, but I'm always here to give you my advice.
But they know, they've been warned.
Oh, they know.
Kayla, I feel like I would love to watch like something like Love Island with you, and just like talk.
Oh, I love
couple.
doing that. Any trashy reality,
Queer Ultimate.
The Queer Ultimate, I just finished it yesterday. It was
Pisses
great.
me off.
It was great.
It's great, but it pisses me off.
Well, like, they had trauma, but, like, I was able to... It doesn't end how you think it is going to based off of all of the episodes. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but, like, it's a lot different than the first season, so if you were burned by the first season...
Yeah, the first season pissed me off.
It'll still piss you off, but then the ending will surprise you.
Okay. Maybe there's true love. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. And I think I'm a pretty good roommate. I just sometimes have trouble communicating when I'm like uncomfortable about something, and then it kind of just blows up in my face. But other than that, I'm like clean, and I like to organize things, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like generally like a loving, friendly space.
Yeah.
I think this is also why I live with like a male gay roommate, because I wouldn't want to like make anyone uncomfortable, and like, you know, he can do his thing and I can do my thing. But I'm pretty respectful. I still was raised in that kind of like not 100% religious household. Like I generally don't bring anyone over when the other person's in the building. There's no like crazy sounds when someone's like cooking dinner. Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah. But wasn't there a time when like he walked by in the morning? Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'll say it. He walked by. I you know, hooked up the night before, and we're both like naked, but the door was open, and so he's like, "Whoa!" But then he wouldn't stop talking about it. So I was like, "Stop talking about this. This doesn't normally happen." Anyway, it's just like talking about it makes it seem like it happens every weekend, which it doesn't, obviously.
Every other weekend. Is there a teacher from the past who made you feel seen?
Oh, I can go right away. There's this one teacher. Her name is Miss Sexuality, and it was actually at Villa, which was the all-girls high school. She was the first teacher that made me feel seen because it was like this feminism class that we had, and I've never had that before, especially in that type of setting. And we had this end of the year project, and we had to like write a lot about like our emotions and how we feel and like things like that, and I've never experienced that, like having a project about me and my emotions. It was always like projects about like this person or that person, so having someone make me be in touch with my emotions. And also she was very vulnerable in her own emotions as well, and like seeing like someone older than me and a woman doing that just made me feel like seen, and make me feel like, okay, like I could talk about these things and like feel these things, even though I don't like to show them. I can write about them. So that is someone that like has stuck with me to this day, and I have her on Facebook now. We're besties. I'm just kidding, we're not besties, but like sometimes she'll post stuff and like I'll comment, and like I don't know, like that's like one teacher that like really stuck with me.
I had a teacher in middle school. I was in shop class one day and we were sitting around. There's probably like 8 of us, and I remember the teacher had stepped out and we were just, it's kind of like the end of the day, last 15 minutes, and this girl, she just decided to, I had said something and her response was something along the lines of, Brandon, you're gay. Like as a grade 8 boy who like barely understood what that word was, you know. And I just like started bawling. And I think the thing that for me was maybe a tell growing up was just my voice was always a little different. Different. You know what I mean? But I had a teacher who, my homeroom teacher that I went to see, and she called both of us into the room and she addressed this girl in front of me and told her, like, it's really not okay. Yeah. And I remember just like, I was like welled up, and I can like almost like teleport back to that moment, but it was like so intense, you know. It's like, it's the weirdest thing to be told who you are by like a bully and not even like really embrace it yourself yet, and you have to like grapple with that. And then when you eventually do realize that maybe there was some truth to what people saw, yeah, you're almost like, oh, my bullies were right, and that's like a twisted feeling to like navigate, you know.
That's so violent.
But all that to say that I just never forgot like that teacher being there in that moment to like see my pain and see, she wanted me to see her address the hate and confront it, and that really stuck with me.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I just remember her having such care for that moment and like approached it in such a delicate but authoritative way of like, I see what's right and what's wrong, and I'm gonna make sure everyone here knows that, you know. So back to the question, is there a teacher from the past who made you feel seen?
I mean, the only teacher that comes to mind was my music teacher. Just because, like, I kind of grew up, like, in the church choir and stuff, so, like, I did sing, but in high school I was very, like, I don't know, I wasn't as, like, my personality wasn't as big as it is now, so I was more like a wallflower, I guess, like, more shy and, like, reserved a bit, and my teacher, I don't even remember how he figured out I could sing, because the first 2 years I had him, I was playing saxophone, so I don't remember. Or I was in a variety show or something, maybe. Anyways, he ended up, like pulling me aside and was like, hey, like, I'm working on a demo. I'd really like for you to, like, sing it and, like, come to the recording studio. And I was like, oh, shit. That was really fun. And then another project he had, like, graduation, post high school graduation, he like got in touch again, and I did another thing for him. So it was
That's cool.
Nice and rewarding for like someone to recognize your own talent. Not that I didn't hear it enough from my mom, like lifted me up and stuff, but yeah, no, it was very cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's always the art teachers that like really,
yeah, I was gonna say
they're present.
They do it.
No.
I mean, so the same. So not the cookie teacher. Maybe we'll get cut. So maybe people don't know what I'm talking about. But his wife was the music teacher. So he was the 5th grade teacher, and his wife was the music teacher, and then she became my social studies teacher, and she was just so, I mean, both of them were like, they really loved us because we like spent so, like, if you, it was a K through 12 school, so like you really get to know your teachers, they're like your other parents. Like, so we did Oliver, Twist in 5th grade, and then I think a couple years later we did Pirates and Penzance. And in both of those, she cast me in like large singing roles. And I remember I was in 5th grade, and she was like, when we did Oliver Twist, she's like, I think you're the only one with a voice low enough that can sing this. And that was the first time that like I actually like was like singing properly. I was always like singing loudly in choir or whatever, or I don't know, just singing like I was like, I love singing. But it's like she saw that I was just like having so much fun. She's like, here's a really big song to sing in the show. So that one boy for sale. That like he's very cheap. Anyway, it's the words. Anyway, but I feel like after those 2 experiences, she did kind of say at one point like, you know, like if you were into music, like I think you could actually do it. Like, you know, she gave me like almost like full license to like really enjoy music and really enjoy performing and to dream of maybe one day doing something like that. And I think, I don't know, maybe your teachers are like these little cheerleaders, yeah, they're like parents without the guilt. Right?
Yeah.
In grade 7, it was like the moment growing up where you chose an instrument and you like sort of auditioned. Similar for you?
No, we didn't have to audition.
Oh, okay.
They just asked what we wanted and handed us the
It was mostly that, except for drums, which was like the cool instrument for just like, you know,
Definitely.
it's just naturally a cool thing. And for that one, everyone would watch the people audition.
Oh God.
And I had the balls to audition, having never played drums.
That's right.
In
How do you
my
audition
life.
for an instrument that you haven't played before?
So there was 2 drum kits, music teacher, me, whole class watching. She's like, okay, Brandon, repeat after me. She goes, and then I go, try to figure it out. So she did it again. Halfway through my 3rd attempt, she grabs both drumsticks and says, in front of the entire class, sweetie, you have no rhythm.
Well, that is not the parent that we need.
I mean, at that point.
But honestly, she was right.
That is not true. I've seen you dance. Drums are very hard. Drums are very hard.
It's so hard.
Okay. My teacher's name was Wendy Reaper. She's a saint. Yours, devil.
Just honest. Come on, guys.
Yeah, and that's a wrap.
No!
So I played trombone for 2 years, if you're wondering.
2, 3, go.
Red